Avatar is a huge film by anyone's standards. Epic in scale and nearly 3 hours long, the 3D effects cost a staggering $237 million, and the total budget, including marketing, was around $750 million. No wonder studio bosses at 20th Century Fox were anxious on opening weekend that Avatar would tank. They needn't have worried. Avatar became the fastest film to pass the $2 billion mark at the box office and has gone on to take $2.6 billion. Cynics might argue that high-priced 3D tickets contributed to the inflated figures, but it is undoubtedly the most profitable film of all time. I sat down with the producer of Avatar, Jon Landau, and began by asking why it has taken so long for the film to make it to the silver screen.
It was really about technology advancement. I mean, there are things that we are doing on this movie that were unfathomable only a few years ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are not in Kansas anymore.
We wanted to wait to make Avatar until the technology was there to tell the story the way the movie deserved to be told. Jim wrote this in 1995, and everybody loved the script. 20th Century Fox loved the script, but said, wait a second, how are we going to do this? We didn't know. So we waited until we thought we could figure it out, and then we embarked on the journey.
In some words, what has changed? I mean, it's 3D, but it's something new in 3D. It is digital, it's something new in digital. Run us through.
Well, there are a couple different things that changed. The first thing that changed is our ability to create CGI characters that really convey and express human emotions driven by human performances. And the key to that was going to an image-based process where we photograph the actors' faces. And instead of putting reflectors, markers on it, we use this image to drive the performance on a frame-by-frame, pour-by-pour level. In addition, when we're capturing those performances, we don't do it in a black box. We give Jim Cameron a camera and put it in his hands. Jim is a very tactile director. And this enables him to move this camera around a virtual space where when he looks at the character, he doesn't see the character, he sees the world, he sees everything that is there. On top of that, for the live action portion, we've developed a 3D camera system that allows us to shoot a 3D movie with the same flexibility that we shoot a 2D movie, where the camera's two lenses move dynamically the way our eyes do, so that the strain of watching a 3D movie is taken by the camera and not the viewer in the theater.
How do you feel Jim has an imagination that even technology might not catch up with?
You know, I think Jim is always a little ahead of what technology can do, and I think that's what makes him so exciting. But he does it to service a story.
The concept is to drive these remotely controlled bodies called avatars. They're grown from human DNA mixed with DNA of the natives.
Marine in an avatar body. That's a potent mix.
He writes a story first, and he writes that to be an emotionally engaging story. And then when the technology is ready, he'll tackle that.
How would you like this film to be remembered?
Well, I think as filmmakers, we have an obligation to present the socially relevant issues. And I think science fiction is really a metaphor for the world in which we live.
This is why we're here. Because this little gray rock sells for $20 million a kilo. Their village happens to be resting on the richest deposit, and they need to relocate. Those savages are threatening our whole operation.
And if people can leave Avatar thinking about some of the ideas that were introduced in the movie, thinking about what are we doing to our world today, thinking about how are we living our lives and interacting with other cultures, people of different colors, I think that's important things for people to leave the theaters with.